Long considered to be the coolest warriors in history, society has a fascination with samurai culture and folklore that has remained unabated for generations, and that's great. Samurai are rad, end of story. Whether it's in TV, movies or books, samurais have always been an endlessly compelling world to draw inspiration from, and video games are no exception. But what are the best samurai games you can buy? For this list, we're trying to limit the games to those that focus more on the experience of being a samurai. Games like Tenchu and Arigami, while set during periods where samurai were prominent and feature samurai as enemies and characters, are disqualified, largely due to the fact that you play as ninjas instead of samurai, but both are indeed most rad. With that being said, I'm Daryl for Cultured Vultures. Here's our picks of the best samurai games ever made. Shing shing shing. 10. KATANA. Literally translated as decisive battle in Japanese, KATANA is yet more proof of how much Koei love big armies smashing into each other. While other games in the series might have opted for more magical elements, or even abandoned the samurai completely for more Romance of the Three Kingdoms content, the original KATANA was a historically accurate, albeit slightly romanticized retelling of feudal Japan. Without a doubt, it's one of the best samurai games ever made, even if it's over 20 years old. Set near the end of the Warring States period in Japanese history, KATANA depicts the clash between the Eastern Tokugawa clan and the Western Toyotomi clan. Players begin the game as Ieyasu Tokugawa of the East, free to play through the campaign, accruing wins and losses all the way until the final battle, at which point the perspective switches to Ishida Mitsunari of the West. After that, players can pick their leader and build a full picture of the battle history for themselves with each subsequent scenario. Who said learning isn't fun? 9. Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. Licensed samurai games can be just as amazing as regular samurai games, and the most recent Samurai Jack title, Battle Through Time, lives up to the animated series' stellar reputation. Fans of Jack's adventures in the nightmarish future have been waiting forever for a game to accurately capture the action of the series, but Soleil's character action game has pulled it off. Battle Through Time is, as the name would imply, a brief jaunt through some of Samurai Jack's greatest hits. During the cinematic battle between Jack and the demonic Aku, the villain throws Jack into a timeless void filled with recreations of the biggest fights in Jack's history. It's a retelling of sorts while also introducing new aspects to keep things interesting. For fans of the franchise, this is a can't miss game. It will probably be the last Sam Jack thing we get. Damn, Samurai more like. 8. Samurai SHODOWN. For a game called Samurai SHODOWN, there's certainly a lot of characters featured in the series who aren't actually samurai. Between pirates, knights, bandits, noblewomen and assassins, there's plenty of vibrant characters to contend with in SNK's classic fighting game series, but the real stars of the show are the samurai. And Dali Dagger, she's great too. Samurai SHODOWN's depiction of samurai properly conveys the knife edge on which all duels sit. While games like Soul Calibur offer flashy combos, Samurai SHODOWN is all about high damage and punishing missed attacks. One wrong move could lead to death in just a few strikes, which makes every fight a tense, exciting affair. 7. Samurai Warriors 5. Koei essentially wrote the book on historic combatants taking to the field of battle and just smacking 7 shades out of each other. While Dynasty Warriors might be the more popular or at least recognisable game of their one versus all formula, let's share a little bit of love towards Samurai Warriors 5, which makes a bold case for being one of Koei's best Musou games. Yes, that even includes Persona 5 Strikers. A reimagining of the series of sorts, Samurai Warriors 5 comes complete with a fresh coat of paint that looks more reminiscent of a Japanese painting, giving the battlefield some much needed vibrancy when it inevitably turns into hundreds of dudes being slapped about the place. With a revamped roster of characters and gameplay that's always satisfying, Samurai Warriors 5 is well worth checking out, as it's definitely one of the best samurai games around, though we do feel like this meme when selecting it over the other Sam War games, please. It looks lovely, what can we say? 6. Bushido Blade 2. A legendary samurai fight is one that can end in a singular strike. None of this lightsaber fight malarkey, just two warriors swinging for the fences to see who can cut down the other. While Bushido Blade 2 might not have been around in the gaming space as much as it should have been, its legacy as one of the best samurai games ever is undeniable. Just two controllers and a copy of Bushido Blade 2 is all you need for endless fun. After players pick their characters and respective weapon, they're placed into one of several large open arenas, with the fight only ending when one of the fighters is dead and buried. Victory can occur at any moment, with one strike being enough to end it, but attacks on limbs can also injure your opponent to give you an advantage. Do you win with a death by 1,000 cuts, or do you risk it all for one decisive strike? The choice is yours. 5. Total War Shogun 2. Most samurai games are a bit of a power fantasy, as you inhabit the armour of a lone hero rising against evil and injustice. However, the samurai period wasn't just a cabal of lone wanderers laying waste to ne'er-do-wells here, there and everywhere. Samurai often represented larger clans who would often use their huge armies to try and establish their rule across Japan, and no game captures this better than Total War Shogun 2. Set in 16th century feudal Japan, you control one of up to 9 different samurai clans, or 12 if you pick up the DLC, each with their own local warlords and plans for Japan. Every clan has their own playstyles and specialities, and rising to the top of Japan requires both diplomacy and sheer strength, meaning one person's campaign would be completely different from someone else's. It's a little rough around the edges these days, but Shogun 2 remains a high point for creative assembly for good reason. 4. Katana Zero. Being a samurai isn't just limited to feudal Japan. In fact, some of the best samurais are found in sci-fi, and Katana Zero is a beautiful example of that. A neo-noir action-adventure, players will take on the role of Zero, a mysterious assassin who's given contracts to murder various players in an ongoing conspiracy. It's a weighty plot, but you might not have the time to notice it given how fast the gameplay can be. Katana Zero follows the one-hit death formula that was popularized by games like Hotline Miami, creating a satisfying gameplay loop as you try to overcome an almost insurmountable level of opposition. Still, you have some tools in your arsenal to turn the tides, like the ability to reflect bullets with your sick katana, or slow down time in order to better avoid all the projectiles coming your way. 3. ONIMUSHA 3 Demon Siege. For some samurai media, there's a certain appeal in showcasing the iconic warrior out of their own time. ONIMUSHA 3 is perhaps the most notable gaming example, as Capcom's resident samurai sword swinger Samanosuke is transported to modern-day Paris. He's still got hordes of demons to contend with, but now he's doing it in front of the Eiffel Tower instead of in historic Japan. Meanwhile, in ONIMUSHA 3's weird time-bending storyline, Jacques Blanc, played by Jean Reno, which still boggles the mind 2 decades later, is transported to Japan, given an Oni gauntlet and told to slaughter plenty of demons of his own. As samurai games go, ONIMUSHA 3 is certainly a bit out there, but for many PS2 lovers, there are some fond memories. No wonder it's a huge feature in anyone's list of best samurai games. Modern port when? Or even a new ONIMUSHA? Capcom? Jean Reno? 2. Nioh 2. It was only a matter of time before samurai culture was fused with the Souls-like genre, and Team Ninja's Nioh series has done an outstanding job of adapting the challenging gameplay of the genre into a samurai adventure. Of course, the demonic monsters that plague the world of Nioh helped set the tone of a Souls-like game. Nothing like a 20-foot tall Goliath to truly let you know you're worthless and terrible at video games. While the series hasn't been around for too long, especially in comparison to other games on this list, Nioh 2 has established itself as the best yet. Players create their own characters and explore a fantasized version of Japan's Sengoku period, utilizing a new yokai shift ability to transform into various powerful forms. That doesn't mean the regular evil yokai are going to go down without a fight though. Number 1. Ghost of Tsushima. Look, Ghost of Tsushima is a fine line to walk, we'll grant you. Jin Sakai sits on the precipice between samurai and ninja, straying from one side to the other as the events of the game progress, but there's no denying that it's one of the best samurai adventures that gaming has ever seen. Also, Jin goes on about being a samurai and honour a fair amount, so it's gotta count, right? Exploring the beautiful island of Tsushima is brilliant in its own right, but the game's incredible sword fighting is the icing on the cake. As Jin Sakai, the last surviving member of the Sakai clan and one of the only few surviving samurai left after the Mongol invasion of Tsushima, you're faced with impossible odds and are forced to make an impossible decision. Abandon the samurai code of honor in favor of a dangerous, more ignoble way of fighting. The old ways won't survive such savagery, but what do you lose in the pursuit of victory at any cost? That question propels Ghost of Tsushima towards becoming the best samurai game on the market, and we can't wait to see what a sequel does next. As long as it lets us pet various lovely animals, we would be honoured to play it. And there you have it, that is our list of the best samurai games. As ever, did you agree, disagree? Sign off in the comments down below, let us know what you're thinking. If you enjoyed the video, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and do us the honour of hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos coming to the channel. You can also check out the social media on screen now, as well as culturedvultures.com for the full written version of this article and many, many more. With that said, hopefully we'll catch you in the next one, but until then, caw.